Hello, you are listening to the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. Your host, Erica Sacosio, invites you to join her community of passionate and inspiring leaders in the ECE field, where she discusses, reflects, and shares the best ways to invest in our children, families, teachers, and community. Because after all, we know they are the heartbeat of any successful program.
Hey guys, Erica here with the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. So happy you are here today. I want to talk a little bit because I know this is something that's really a problem and a lot of you are struggling with. And, in today's competitive childcare landscape, where securing a spot feels as challenging as finding the last puzzle piece, providers are working harder than ever with constant industry changes and regulations and all the different things that are, every day it seems like it's a new demand. And we're balancing paperwork and designing new curriculum to be competitive and navigating complex regulations, all while looking good and maintaining positive, supportive environments. And, there was a quote that I really liked, and it was from Winston Churchill. And he wisely said, "Success is not final and failure is not fatal. And it's the courage to continue that counts." And in this demanding field, it's not just a job. It's a dedicated effort to stay ahead and ensure that every child feels supported and every family has access to high quality care. In today's episode, Enrollment Explosion, Boosting Your Child Care Center's Numbers with Arianne Ceasar. I always get the names wrong. She is a renowned marketing coach. She specializes in childcare industry, and she'll share her expert strategies for increasing enrollment at your child care center, from refining marketing approach to engaging with potential families and effectively learning how to stand out in this ever-increasing competitive market. You want to be able to attract more families to your center. So tune in today for actionable insights and tips that can transform your enrollment numbers and enhance your center's success while being profitable. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love being here. I am so excited.
I am super excited to have you as well. So tell folks a little bit about how you came to be this extraordinaire in marketing in the childcare field and early childhood education.
Okay, so I love all things business. I love all things childcare. So those two just go together. I used to be an owner and a director as well as at my own center. And so what I started to notice was that a lot of centers they talk about they don't do marketing, quote unquote, right? I don't do marketing. People are waiting to pass out postcards when they need to fill seats instead of, having that proper relationship building techniques from way before. And so in 2018, I decided that I just wanted to jump into coaching and consulting full time. And so not only am I only teaching about marketing, but I also teach about foundational skills, systems, processes, all the things that you need to build a successful and profitable childcare center.
Yeah, profitable. And that's been even something that has been increasingly challenging, especially from 2018 to now. I mean, salaries have exploded. So, So what are some common challenges that childcare centers are facing when it comes to increasing enrollment?
All right. So first thing first, like I just mentioned, a lot of childcare centers say they don't do marketing, right? I get on phone calls every single week. I do sales calls every single week with childcare business owners. And one of the biggest thing is they don't do marketing, or the lack of consistency in marketing because they feel like marketing is just expensive, right? Everybody has that notion of marketing is so expensive. And so what we want to make sure is that when we are thinking about marketing, when we are thinking about pushing our centers ahead and getting out there, we want to make sure that we are seen. We are seen, and we're seen often.
Yeah. And so with back to school time, the next couple of weeks, we actually have a few episodes on the podcast on some strategic things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money, right? Because if money is an issue, which right now, that's a real challenge. I mean, we already had been working on pretty thin margins, and now they're skinny. Doing a lot of things with your community too is a great way to get that goodwill. And then also a great way, like you said, to be seen. So, how can childcare centers better understand their target market and what parents are really looking for?
So finding out who you're targeting is important, right? So if you have a center already, give your parents a survey, find out who your parents are. Where do they work? Where do they hang out? What do they do for fun? Where do they shop, right? This is important. Once you have that kind of data, because data tells a story, that's my belief, data tells a story. So once you have that type of data, now we can know how to position our marketing to get in front of those same ideal parents, right? We want to make sure that if they're working at the hospital down the street and they love to shop at the coffee shop up the block, we need to get in front of there because most likely their community, the people that they're interacting with that are just like them, are doing the same exact thing. So we want to get in front of them as much as possible.
And that is all very, very good advice. The other thing I'm going to say is sometimes, so we have a very unique center, and I know that we're probably not the only ones. Sometimes you have two different markets in one location, right? So where I live, we have literally one side of the street, we have low to middle income. And then half a mile down the road, you have middle to high income. Yeah. And I love it when they all pull in the parking lot. And I joke about this all the time. You'll have like this brand new, Escalade next to a car with the duct tape window. So that kids walk up to the same center, which is great when you talk about diversity and just having lots of different experiences and lots of different voices at your center too. Yeah. So make sure that you pay attention to not only who you have, but who do you want to keep too? Because just because of who you have. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you have a whole lot of not payers, that's not the circle you want to keep fighting and growing.
That's not. That's not.
Yeah.
So that's part of the data that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's only important to have like you have a school and it's full, but are people staying? Are people recommending you? Are they happy? Is it always some drama going on, always some complaining, right? And that is exactly why we work on foundation before we work on marketing, because we want to make sure that what you are promoting and what you do have at your center going on is something that's going to retain parents and make them scream to the mountaintops about how great your service is. And because the truth is, if I have a good experience, I want everybody I know to have that same experience, right? I'm going to tell the friend, the church member, I'm going to tell my colleague, I'm going to tell my manager, I'm going to tell everybody. That's the truth.
Yeah. And so if you're new and you're not really even sure where to start, like Google your stuff, Google your center's name, look at all the places where people are talking about your center, because you can even use that as part of your marketing as well, right? You can take those testimonials and you can use them on your marketing materials. And if you have parents that really love you too, they'll be happy to do like a little video for you and on your website, right? So there's that costs you $0, right? I promise you, someone in your center has a good phone that you can keep great content on, right? I mean, these things,
and record.
Yeah, that costs $0. So, also the other place that I think is really important that sometimes I think people don't think about is Glassdoor and Indeed. What are the reviews there? Because if you have a parent who works in an office, is real savvy, right? They might look to see what your teachers are saying, right?
Absolutely.
How your teachers like working there.
So, yes, absolutely. That's one of the things I teach with my one-on-one coaching clients. We go through all of it. Your Indeed profile is very important. And how you're bringing people and what are people saying about you. Now, this is another thing people kind of bypass. Your Google profile is super important, right? Your testimonials there, your updates there, and your pictures there are literally the face of your business. 46% of people who are looking for something on Google are looking with local intent, which means that they are looking for something in your community, and they're going to Google for it, right? And so people don't update their Google profile for some reason. You should be updating your Google profile at least 5 times a week, right? It should always be updated. And I'm not just talking about testimonials. I'm talking about updates, right? You could put updates on your Google profile. or if you are just starting out and you have a Google profile and you're like, I don't even have any parents yet. My rule of thumb is this: anybody can give you a testimonial. The plumber who had a good experience at your center give you a testimonial because it speaks to the character of your business. Okay. So it does not only have to be parents. It could be a parent. It could be the HVAC man. It could be whoever has had an interaction with your business. And then what we want them to do is we want them to use keywords. We want them to use stuff like #1 childcare, #1 preschool. We want them to use words like best childcare, best preschool, best daycare. What it is, Google is a search engine. And so when people are looking for something, they're going to put in #1 childcare in Maryland. That's what they're putting in, and that's what we need to pull from the search engine. So we want to use these things for our own advantage.
Yeah. I would say too, if you have employees, particularly ones that use your program and they have children, because that's one of the top 5 questions that people will ask when they come to your center. How long have your teachers been here? What's your teacher retention, right? They're looking for that because at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want behind the desk, but it's the teacher who's going to be with their child 8-9 hours. So they need to get that feel of what's the culture in your program.
Absolutely.
So, so I think that those things are really important. And then also other small businesses, like you said, the interactions that you have, like maybe you support a local small business on a frequent basis and they support yours. You can do that too and ask for that, how you support your community, not just the service you provide, because sometimes people are looking for more than that. Things that are important to people is what they're looking for. For some people, it's safety. Some people's curriculum. Some people, it's character development. Like how do you teach my child to be a good person? There's lots of things that parents are looking for and things that set you apart, right? Because everybody thinks they got the best childcare, right? I don't know anybody who's got a T-shirt that says I have the worst.
I honestly think that everybody's different. And so if I have a childcare center and you have a childcare center, there's something that is very unique about mine and very unique about yours, because once you start infusing yourself into your childcare center, like if you have unique abilities, maybe you're artsy, maybe you're into science, infuse you into your center, I promise you're going to stand out because it's just, you're different.
Yeah. Not only different, genuine too. And parents really want people that they can relate to, because at the end of the day, they come to you for other things. At least at my center, they come to me for other things beyond childcare. If you're working with young parents, they may be coming to you for parenting advice, especially if they have a baby and it's their first baby. They're going to ask you lots of questions.
Yes.
Right? Or it's their first child prepping for kindergarten. What do they need to know? I need to make sure that they can do this, that, and the other thing. And, it's our job to help support, like, okay, well, that might be setting the bar really high. That might be a 5-year-old still, and just helping parents out. So I think there's just so many things to consider. And when you do, these are great ways that you can highlight your program, as you said.
Absolutely.
Are you seeing any particular trends in childcare that centers could use or be aware of when they're developing their marketing strategies?
All right. Now, this is a biggie. I feel as if a lot of people are not using social media correct. Social media is free, and when used correctly, you're going to draw traffic. So no matter what type of business you have, you need traffic, right? Traffic leads to tours leads to registration, right? The more traffic you get, the more line traffic you get, the more tours you're going to book, and the more registration you're going to get. Now, the problem with social media is, I'm going to just say Instagram for say. That's my favorite platform. So with Instagram, what we have is that childcare centers will just post pictures of the kids and the activity. Now, the problem with that is with buyer psychology, social media psychology, the reason why we follow pages is for different reasons. It could be for tips. It can be for hacks. It could be for how-tos. It could be just for different reasons, right? If I'm just a regular person, I'm not going to follow a daycare page. I have no reason to, right? Unless my child goes there or a family member goes there, there's really no reason for me to follow the page. And so what I suggest is that you use social media how you need to use it to draw traffic. So for instance, giving parenting hacks, giving parenting tips, also having making sure you train the algorithm to show your page to people in your community by using community words on your reels and your short form videos on Instagram, right? So now we are training the algorithm to show, hey, events for the week of August 19th to 23rd in the community in Brooklyn, New York, right? So now it's like family events. We are already calling out. We're looking for people with families, family events for the week of events, all the things. So now we are training the algorithm to show our stuff, and we're getting a wider view on people. So what I always say is that use Instagram the way you use Instagram to attract people to your business. Once you start doing it that way, instead of just posting pictures, and we already know pictures don't get as much reach as the reels, the short videos.
Mm-hmm.
So if we know that, then post the reels, post the videos, right? Put some trending music behind it, put great hooks on the screen. You don't even have to record yourself. You can record like filling up the sensory bin and just put some words on the screen. Start to pull people in. Make sure you're using keywords on screen and in your captions and in your hashtags so that you can attract people. That is one of like the best underutilized tools that nobody's consistent with for some reason.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. Awesome advice, for sure. So let's say, okay, I'm ready to like go on Instagram and do all the things. What are some maybe key elements that they should include in compelling marketing? Like, how do I craft like this message? Or do you think it doesn't matter, just make it engaging?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Have you been wondering how to quit your job and start a business? I'm Shannon Russell, career transition coach and host of this new limited series podcast called How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business. This 20-episode series walks you through step-by-step how to go from employee to entrepreneur. Plus, I have a free workbook designed to help you take action while you listen. Go to secondactsuccess.co/listen to grab this free tool. I can't wait to share it with you.
So I always serve, sell, right? Serve, sell. You want to give before you ask, right? So on their Instagram is such a powerful platform because there's so many different things that you can use. So you can go live, right? And I always say like your reels are for your cold audience. What would I want to tell a parent that would make them stop their scroll and want to come to my page and binge what I have going on, right? Then you have lives and you have stories, which is more for your warm audience. These people are following you already and you're just building connection. And there you can sell and all of those things. You can also do cross promotion. I love cross promotion because when you do your research about the other businesses in your community they're already servicing your people. They're already servicing. And when you cross promote with them, it's almost as good as getting a referral because they're doing the heavy lifting for you. And so once you do your research, you find businesses that have engaged community, have great testimonials in the community. Now you guys can cross promote. You can reach out and see how you guys can be mutually beneficial to each other. So then that's a great thing as well. With Instagram, I would suggest that you have like an events calendar, like the monthly events calendar that people can download for free. In exchange for their information, you're going to give them something, right? You're going to give them a monthly event calendar. Now we know, number one, we know they live in the community. And number two, we know they have a family, right?
Yeah.
So these are what you call lead magnets. A lead magnet can be an ebook. It can be a checklist. It can be events calendar. It can be a workshop if you want to. You can do a potty training planner, right? There are all these different little things that you can do that cost.
Girl, she just dropped the biggest golden nugget ever. A potty training planner. Like that is amazing because so many parents would want that. Yeah, that's great. And it's creative, right?
Yes.
That's creative. And like you said, even if they didn't go to your center's name, right? Make sure you put your brand, your logo, and all the things. Yeah, all your things. So that way, maybe they don't need you now, but maybe they need you in the future. Or maybe they, yeah.
Okay.
You can do as many as you want.
You see, I get so passionate about this.
Oh, I know. Go ahead.
So once you do your potty training planner and it's out there, what you now can do is you can look for Facebook groups that are for your community. So you can look for like Mommy and Me in Brooklyn, Mommy and yoga communities in Brooklyn. You can look for all the different communities and start to drop them in the community for the potty training planner or the events calendar or all the things. Now, some groups might say you need to pay to play, but some are open, right? So like the garage sale communities and all that, they expect you to sell in there. So it's not a big deal. You can drop it in there and get it. Now, you could even make it even better where you have the potty training planner, but then you can have the potty training challenge where you're going to help these parents potty train their kids in 30 days or less, right? And you guys are going to meet on Zoom and everything. Now, the best part about this, you're building connection already. Now they trust you. Now, when you say, hey, we have 5 spaces in our toddler classroom and we can do this along with you, guess who's coming in for a tour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yes. So let's talk about really, what do we got for time? We got time. Let's talk a little bit about, I know, because we could go for a long time. We could. All right. So let's talk about, we got them in, right? Because you got to be good at doing tours, right? You get someone to come in your center. Let's talk about how do you give a good tour? Like, let's talk about that.
This is my section. I love tours. So I strongly believe there are 3 parts to a tour. There's what you do before the tour, during the tour, and after the tour. A lot of times we like to focus on just the tour part, but there's so much stuff that happens before the tour. So I'll just give you a little bit of each. So before you tour, we want to make sure that the center is spick and span, like it's picture perfect. And the reason why is because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So when people see, it's the first thing that they see, we want to make sure we are giving them that best first impression. So number 1, I like to lead with a warm welcome. A warm welcome basically says like, I was expecting you. It's like when somebody shows up to your house and you were expecting them, they feel that they were expected rather than, oh, you're not supposed to be here, right? So maybe that might be a whiteboard that says, welcome Johnson family, right? You might want to have some snacks there. You might want to have like an iPad there, just something to welcome them. You want to make sure that everything is in its place and it smells good because we have to think about people's senses, what they see, what they smell, what they hear, right? So we want to make sure that's going too. Another thing too, make sure your staff know about the center. Whether you are in the center or not, anybody should be able to give a tour at your center. And so we want to make sure that the staff know your center well enough so that they can give a tour. So that's before they get even through the door, right? Then we want to make sure we have like reminders going out to them about the tour. A text reminder, an email reminder saying, hey, we have a tour. Is it still a good time? Now, if somebody cancels, we want to make sure we get on the phone or on that text and we reschedule immediately. Hey, okay, so now is not a good time. When can we reschedule this tour, right? And in case they tell you no, they change your mind, reschedule the tour. During the tour, while we're going through the tour, you need to know, I always say, you need to know your tour like Beyonce knows her stage. This is your stage. She doesn't get on stage and say, hey, play Boy on Top or something. Like, that's not happening. What happens is she's rehearsing all the time, and so should you. A good tour, basically, you're answering questions before they're even asked. So I believe, this is just my belief, go on Google and type in questions to ask for a childcare tour. And that is where parents are going for their questions. When they go, you want to embed those questions in your tour. So for instance, one of the questions might be, what are the ratios? Instead of waiting for them to ask, you're going to say, this is our toddler classroom and the ratio in this classroom is 1-4, right? So you're already embedding those questions in your tour process. And there's a whole list of them that we kind of like go through and we kind of know. You can script it out, of course, but essentially we want to make the tour ours. Like we want to make it our voice, right? Then after the tour, there are things that you need to do as well. So when you're closing up the tour, you can ask for the business. Like, hey, when will Johnny be starting in his classroom? Like, how would you like to move forward? Sometimes you're going to have parents that are first-time parents that are going to have some challenges like, oh, I'm scared. This is where your testimonials and your storytelling comes in, okay? Those videos that you collected, that testimonial that you collected, testimonials are so important because they're supposed to pull on emotion and lead people to take action, okay? So when a good testimonial is not like, ABC Center is a great center. No, that's not a good testimonial. Good testimonial is like, my child attends ABC Center. The staff there are great. I'm a first-time parent. Because now we're identifying who these people are and how they're tugging on emotion, right? From there, we are going to make sure we have a follow-up process, right? So we want to make sure that after they leave, we want to have 7 touches within 14 days. And so what that means is like every 2 days, you're probably going to send them a postcard. You're going to send them some bulky mail. And bulky mail is basically putting a pen with a letter in an envelope and sending it out to them. And we make it bulky because when you feel something in a package, you're going to open it. So you can do bulky mail. You could do SMS, which is text message. You can do video email or just send a video on your text, right? Just, hey, this is Ari. I just wanted to just touch base with you, see where you are with registration. You want to do some email and you want to do some calls. Also, if a parent tells you, hey, I need to talk to dad. Okay, is there anything I can supply you with that dad may need? This is when you might want to send the email over with a virtual tour already in the email, answering some questions, and then maybe you can book for them to come in or have a phone call for a tour. So that's my little tour spiel.
Yeah. No, it's all great. So there's a few things I want to add to that. So what I like to do is I certainly am prepared. I also like to point out things while we're drawing the center that I want them to notice or not notice. So I might say, you might notice in our infant room, we don't have a lot of XYZ. I don't like a lot of swings and bippity bops and all that. You will notice my teachers are sitting on the floor with children. They're doing something, so I'll point out things that I really want them to notice. There's also other things I might point out, like, so we have a quality rating system in our state. And so we are 4-star. And I will go over, there's like 8 different areas. I'll go over each of the different areas, why we rate what we rate. And one of the areas is the qualifications of teachers. And at the time that we applied, I had a teacher who had been with us for years. She was like almost 60 years old. She was in the infant room. And I wasn't letting her go so I could get 1 more star. So I have 4 stars in the area, and I was very happy to do that. So I would just point out things like, this is what we have, here's why we have it, or this is what I want you to notice. And you'll know, honestly, if you did a great tour, because I mean, I've been doing it forever. Like you said, you make it your own. But you'll have people say, where's the paperwork? Can I sign up now? I mean, I would, you'll get to a level where you don't have to ask for the sale. I'm so like, oh, you could just let me know. No, I know now. Can I have the paperwork?
That's right.
You'll get yourself to that level if you continue to fine tune your program and continue to, as you said, point out what's really important. And then again, being approachable. Like, I know how hard it is to leave your child. That's how I ended up in the field. Exactly. I didn't wake up one day and go, I want to be a teacher. That's not how it happened for me. It was, I woke up and I was like, I had a baby. I said, I'm not leaving my key with anybody I don't know. So here I come, me and my kid. Years later now, I own it and stuff. But so making that, like you said, that connection for them, something that resonates for them. And if you listen, they will tell you. Yeah. They will tell you if they had a bad experience at another center. They will tell you. They're very transparent of what they're looking for. And then also just, and knowing that what an infant and toddler parent is looking for is going to be different than what a preschool parent is looking for.
Absolutely.
So knowing all these things. So get really good at knowing your craft, knowing your customers. Yeah, I know. We speak in the same language. I know. I cannot believe. So we're already at the 30-minute mark. So I know it's crazy. I'm going to give you an opportunity because I have a whole lot more questions, but we're not going to have time for all of it. I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell folks maybe your biggest tip that you want to leave for them today.
My biggest tip is to stay consistent. Marketing is something that what you do within these 30 days will determine your next 90. Because sometimes when people are looking for you, that's not when they're going to convert. They might convert a little bit down the line, right? They might convert. Maybe they send their child somewhere now and then they don't like it. They come back to you. Or maybe they want a summer program, right? Maybe it just doesn't, you just never know. And so with marketing, I always say you don't do marketing when you need kids. You just do marketing all the time. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's a very good tip. Now I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off, Ari. You ready? All right. So if none of this connects for you, let me help you out. State funded pre-K is here. You have to be competitive. So the days of not marketing and just waiting for a referral from somebody who goes to your program are over. If you don't get that, I'm sorry to tell you, but your long-term plan is not going to work out. So Ari's laughing at me, and it's okay because we only speak truth on this show.
That's it.
So get ready to do some form of marketing. There is, paid marketing. There is free marketing. There's collaborative marketing. There are lots of different choices, but you have to do something, and you have to do it now. Don't wait, because I don't want any more childcare centers to close. So we are here at the Childcare Director's Chair to be your voice. We're going to bring on as many experts as we can to help you in every area you need, because some people might be really great at marketing, but maybe you're not good at finance. Maybe you're not good at something else. So we're going to bring the best of the best on the show for you. Please tell a friend, tell a colleague, hit the subscribe button, and help support what we're doing here, because we want as many childcare centers to make it for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, forever. We're building legacies. Go ahead.
So we are having at Childcare Business Mastery, we are having a free childcare enrollment challenge. We do 4 for the whole year. And so we are doing one from August 19th to August 23rd. And so if you are interested, go to www.childcarebusinessmastery.com. And at the top of the website, there is a link that you click and you can sign up for absolutely free. It's 5 days where I'm going to teach live teaching. And I get down into everything that you need to do right now to get traffic at your center right now. Also, if you would like to book a call, you can go to www.childcarebusinessmastery.com and you can book a call, and we can get on the call for about 45 minutes and find out what's going on in your business.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you have 2 women here ready and sharing for you. So please reach out. Thank you again for tuning into the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. I'm your host, Arianne Ceasar, and as always, it's the little details that make a big impact in the success of your childcare business. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Childcare Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Childcare Director's Chair.